Action cameras have become really popular over the past few years, specifically thanks to capturing extreme sports and drone footage as well. GoPro is probably the first name that springs to mind when you think of an action camera. However, there are a lot of strong and actually a lot cheaper options on the market, and one of them is the Crosstour Action Camera 4K, which we'll be looking at today. If you're interested in the Crosstour Action Camera or any of its range, then you can find links to all of them in the description below. And please do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to keep up to date with reviews and info on a range of products and content that we use on a daily basis. So to start with, the Crosstour Action Camera 4K 16MP Wi-Fi Underwater 30m with remote control, IP68 and waterproof case. Now that is a bit of a mouthful, but as the name may indicate, it comes with a lot of accessories to help you in all of your photo capturing needs or scenarios. So the nature of taking pictures in extreme situations or for extreme sports or even hung off the end of a drone indicates that your camera's probably going to find itself in some pretty risky situations. Now to ensure you get that sweet photo and to make sure that you don't actually destroy your equipment in the process, you're going to need some pretty decent equipment to go with it. So let's take a look at some of that equipment. Now as you can see, there are attachments and straps to cover almost every single need. Now there are so many different accessories, I couldn't really see myself using most of them, to be honest. However, there was one that came in essential quite often. Now as you can see, the waterproof case that actually comes in the kit has this little attachment point at the bottom there for connecting all the accessories. Now that's really cool. But the problem is, if you don't have an accessory connected, then it makes it pretty impossible to just rest it flat if you just wanted to take a photo from a distance or from the timer mode. As you can see, there's no real way to lay it flat unless you put it long ways, and you might not always want to take portrait photos. Even upside down it struggles. The best you can get is that it's going to point downwards. So I found myself actually having this little attachment connected to it at all times. Now as you can see, almost all of the attachments connect with a screw type device. Slots in quite easily, and after a few twists it tightens up quite nicely to find the angle you want. And then with this on, which is pretty small and doesn't add a lot to the actual size of the camera in the case, you can see you can sit it down quite nicely, and you actually have the convenience of changing the angle. So for me, that was always attached. So I actually combined one of the other attachments with one of the straps, and that gave me like a bit of a wrist device, which helped me take some of the more extreme photos. Now don't get too excited, they weren't that extreme. So as you can see, the camera fits quite nicely on there. It's a little bit top heavy, but you can always change the angle a little bit. And when we actually attach it and clip it in place, you can see it's a pretty decent camera, perfect for taking photos or videos down the water slide or in other slightly extreme scenarios. To enable you to take pictures when your camera is out of arm's reach, it also comes with a little remote. Now, it's a bit plasticky and a little lightweight if I'm honest, but to be honest, it does the job. It would be nice if it was waterproof, but I can't really envisage that many waterproof requirement scenarios where you're going to need a remote anyway. So it does the job really, nothing more, nothing less. Now one of the best things about this bundle is that the camera actually comes with 2 batteries, rechargeable batteries. And as you can see, the battery slots in quite easily there, and the actual camera itself is the charging device. So you just put your battery in and then just connect it up and let it charge away. And having 2 batteries available is great because it means you can enjoy a whole day of action without worrying about losing any juice. So as with most action cameras like this, as you can see, they're not waterproof as standard. To give them their waterproof and dust ratings, you need to put them in the case that will come with it. My main concern about using this case was ensuring that there was going to be a good seal every time you used it. I've had a waterproof camera in the past, and that one time when I didn't seal it very well, some water got in there and started to wreak a little bit of havoc. I'm pleased to say the design of the case is really solid and easy to use. As you can see, there's a pretty hefty clip there. Open it quite easily. The camera just slots in, close it, and then if you just slide over the clip with a nice little, you're pretty much sorted. I don't think you can really get that wrong. Quick and easy every time. And to be honest, almost all of the time I had the camera in the case. I mean, I don't know if you could really pick up on the video, but the actual camera itself does feel a little bit light and flimsy. Now, it's really nice, and I haven't got any concerns about using it in the case, but if I was to drop it when it wasn't in the case, I'm not too sure how well it would fare. However, there are a couple of downsides to using the case, and one of them was a little bit significant for me. Firstly, you're going to want to make sure that you always keep the inside of the case clear. As you can see, there's a lens over the actual camera lens, and that's essential to keep it waterproof. However, it also does mean that it might be prone to picking up bits of dust or dirt on the inside, and if you don't keep that clean, that might spoil pictures a little bit. Now, the second issue was a lot bigger for me, and that is, with it being a fully sealed plastic case, it pretty much covers up the audio receiver on the camera. And to start with, the audio receiver isn't even that great on such a small camera. So that does mean when you're taking videos in the case, voice is muffled all of the time. You can pick up maybe what the holder, the actual person taking the footage, is saying, but anything over that is a bit too muffled, and it certainly doesn't replace what you might want to do with a home video recorder.
Good boy. He's so clever.
Now granted, most extreme scenarios and action sports footage, etc., or drone footage, you're not really going to be that bothered about sound, because quite often they'll probably be putting a video clip with sound or sound effects placed over it. However, in the past I did have a Panasonic Lumix DMC FT1, and it was really nice to just be able to take that camera, if you were on a boat, record, talk to people, at the same time then maybe dive into the water and keep on filming. You can do that with this, but you're not going to get that quality of audio that you would with something like the DMC Lumix. Now that is a much more expensive camera. I mean, we're talking 10 times the price. So if that isn't really that important to you and you just want to get those sweet action shots, then it shouldn't be a really big issue. Now, to make up for it, and the most important thing, image quality from this is absolutely brilliant. Considering it only cost me £40, which is around about $50, I'm absolutely amazed with the quality. Pictures are crisp and vibrant, videos as well, getting all the details. You can really see that it does pick up and stick true to that 4K name. Now, the wide angle lens that this comes with, which is common with a lot of action cameras, really makes the photos and video footage come to life. It has a really unique look that gives every picture and every video that extra layer of action. It really works well underwater as well as taking really large landscape vista pictures. Now, I was a little bit concerned with a lens like this that some close-ups and some facials may actually get a little bit distorted. But as you can see, there's hardly any, if at all, distortion to any of these pictures, and it still really takes a great photo. So how does a Crosstour Action Camera stack up against the GoPro? To start with, it's a hell of a lot cheaper. And for me, that was one of the main criteria. I wasn't looking for this to be my one and only camera. I was looking for it to be a camera that I could comfortably take to the beach or to the water park and take some fun pictures with my family. To pay anything more than £100 or $100 for that was a bit too much for me. And that's why this was always going to be a winner. As far as quality goes, I've never owned a GoPro, so it's difficult for me to say honestly. But I have looked at a lot of footage online, and what I can do is I can link to some of the videos that I looked at in the description below, so you can make a judgment call for yourself. So to summarise, when I bought the Crosstour Action Camera, I was taking a little bit of a gamble. In its case, it's really durable, solid, I'm not worried about dropping it at all. It comes with so many accessories, and the extra battery is just a massive bonus. I didn't really know what to expect, but I knew it was a really great price, so I thought it was worth a chance. and I'm pleased to say I'm really glad that I went for it. The image quality and video footage is way beyond what I expected for a £40 camera. With a myriad of accessories, you can take some crazy action-packed photos, but just don't expect it to replace your camcorder and you'll be happy. Now, as I said at the beginning, if you look in the description, you can find links to the CT9000, the CT8500, and a range of other Crosstour action cameras. Now, thanks for watching, and don't forget, please hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to find out about any reviews or info about products and content that we use on a regular daily basis. Your interest really matters to us, and hitting that subscribe button really helps us out. Thank you.